Okay, I want you to do something for me. Take a second and really think about the most intense physical pain you've ever felt. Maybe it was a broken bone, a really bad burn, or just one of those migraines that takes you out completely. You got it? Hold on to that memory. Now, compare that to the moment your heart was well and truly broken. You know, the moment that future you had so carefully built in your mind just vanished. For so many of us, the pain of a breakup doesn't just feel as bad as a physical injury, it's way, way worse. It doesn't feel like a metaphor for pain, does it? It feels like a real, honest-to-God medical emergency, where every single cell in your body is screaming that something is deeply, deeply wrong.
So why is that? Why does it hurt so much? You know, from an evolutionary standpoint, it kind of seems like a bug in the system. Why would we be designed to suffer this intensely when a relationship ends? Why does our own brain, our operating system, react as if our literal life is on the line? It just feels so out of proportion, right? Well, it turns out there are some very specific and incredibly powerful reasons this happens. So today, we're going to dive deep into this. We are going to, together, perform a kind of psychological autopsy on a breakup to really get the science behind why your heart is broken.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We've got 5 key parts. First, we're going to look at why this kind of grief is just so unique and why it's so often misunderstood. Then we're going to put on our lab coats and see exactly what is happening inside your brain and your body on a chemical level. And most importantly, we are not going to leave you there in the dark. We will lay out a science-backed, actionable plan for recovery and will guide you all the way to that final, crucial stage, rebuilding who you are.
All right, let's jump right in with the biggest problem of heartbreak, the real reason it feels so confusing and like it's never going to end. I like to call this a grief without a funeral. This whole section is about getting why this specific kind of pain is so uniquely cruel, and why it never seems to give us the closure our minds are desperate for.
You know, psychologists have a really powerful term for this, ambiguous loss. And think about it. When someone passes away, it's terrible, of course, but there's a clear finality to it. There are rituals, right? A funeral, a memorial. There are things our culture has built to help our brains start to process that loss. But with a breakup, the person you love is still out there. They're walking around, breathing, living their life. And thanks to the particularly cruel invention of social media, you can often watch them move on in real time. This ambiguity, it's like psychological torture for our brains. Our brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It just hates uncertainty. So it keeps searching, it keeps hoping, and it creates these endless what-if scenarios that stop any real, meaningful closure from ever happening.
And here's the thing that just makes it all so much worse. Our culture often just dismisses this pain. We get hit with these well-meaning but totally unhelpful phrases like, "I'll just get over it," or "there are plenty of other fish in the sea." And all this does is add this thick layer of shame on top of all the suffering, making you feel weak or like something's wrong with you for not being able to just snap out of it. But I really, really need you to hear this. You are not weak. You are not overreacting. You are going through a massive physiological and neurological event, and your body is struggling. Your reaction isn't just normal. It is the expected biological response to this kind of profound loss.
Okay, so now that we get the social and psychological side of this, let's pop the hood and see how this all works on a neurological level. See, to really understand heartbreak, you first have to understand what love actually is to the brain. And here's the key takeaway. It's not just some fuzzy emotion or a poetic idea. No, it's a fundamental survival drive, and neurologically it functions almost exactly like a powerful, all-consuming addiction.
When you fall in love, your brain is it's swimming in this potent chemical cocktail. You get this huge surge of dopamine, the powerful reward chemical. That's what creates that intense craving, that feeling that you just need to see them. It's the get up and go molecule. And at the same time, you're getting hits of oxytocin, which people call the cuddle hormone. That's what creates those deep, lasting bonds of attachment. And get this, your serotonin levels can actually drop, which is what leads to those obsessive, can't stop thinking about them thoughts. You are, in the most literal chemical sense of the word, high on this person. They become the main source of your daily neurochemical fix.
And then, bam, the breakup happens. The supply is cut off. Just like that, instantly. And your brain, which has literally rewired itself to expect this daily chemical reward, just panics. It enters a state of acute, frantic withdrawal. Those reward circuits start firing off, screaming, "Where's my dopamine? I need it to survive. This is a code red." And that is the raw biological reason for that seemingly crazy, uncontrollable urge to text them, to check their social media, to drive by their house. It's not logic, my friend. It's a deep, primal, and desperate craving.
Now, the hard science behind this feeling is genuinely astounding.
Neuroscientists using fMRI scans, the machines that let us watch the brain work in real time, have made a groundbreaking discovery. They take a heartbroken person, they put them in the machine, and they simply show them a photo of their ex. And the parts of the brain that light up, specifically a deep reward center called the nucleus accumbens, are the exact same regions that activate in a cocaine addict who is craving a fix. Just let that sink in for a second. Your brain is reacting to a picture of your ex like it's being denied a powerful, addictive drug. But wait, it gets even deeper, and this part explains why you feel a literal physical ache in your chest. That same part of the brain that registers the ouch factor of physical pain, a region called the anterior cingulate cortex, is the very same region that lights up when you feel socially rejected. In other words, your brain makes almost no distinction between a broken heart and a broken leg. The pain signal comes from the same place. And evolutionarily, this makes total sense. For our ancient ancestors, being kicked out of the tribe meant certain death. So our brains developed this incredibly powerful pain alarm to warn us. Warning, social connection is broken. Fix this now or you will not survive. Okay, so we've seen the brain is in a state of withdrawal and physical pain. Now let's trace how that intense brain activity affects the rest of your body. Because while all your happy chemicals are in a nosedive, your stress hormones are going into absolute overdrive. And they're unleashing this relentless storm on your entire system. Your body gets flooded with cortisol and adrenaline, the big league stress hormones. This puts you into a chronic, never-ending state of fight or flight. Your heart rate jacks up, getting you ready to fight or run from a threat that isn't actually there. Your immune system gets suppressed because, hey, in a crisis, fighting off a cold isn't a top priority for the body. This is exactly why people so often get sick right after a breakup. Your digestive system slows down to save energy, which explains why you have zero appetite, and you can't sleep because your ancient brain thinks you're constantly being stalked by a predator. It's just a relentless, exhausting assault from your own internal stress response. This really gets to the heart of that physical exhaustion you're feeling. I want you to really consider this idea. Your body is running a marathon of stress while you are lying still in bed. You aren't just sad, you are physically ill. Your body is burning through its precious energy reserves at an incredible rate, even while you're just lying there feeling like you can't even move. This is not just in your head, it is a full-body crisis.
So, knowing all of this pretty grim science, how do we actually start to heal? Well, the science tells us we can't just sit around and wait for time to fix it. That's kind of like waiting for a broken leg to set itself. No, we need an active, intentional plan for what you could call neurorehabilitation. We need to consciously and deliberately help our brain calm down, rewire itself, and build a new life.
So here it is, a 4-step, science-backed plan to do exactly that. We're going to start with the most critical first step, the detox phase, to cut off the source of that addiction. Then we'll focus on how to physically biohack the pain and calm your body down. From there, we'll move to the mind and learn how to use logic to your advantage. And finally, we'll explore how to find some real, profound meaning in all of this suffering. Step 1 is the detox. And let me be perfectly clear, this is absolutely non-negotiable. It's the no contact rule. You simply cannot recover from an addiction while you are still taking little hits of the drug. And that's exactly what every text, every phone call, every social media check-in is. It's a little hit. This means zero interaction, no texts, no calls, and this is critical. You have to mute or block them on social media. Every single time you see their face, you reactivate those powerful addiction pathways in your brain, and you reset your withdrawal clock right back to zero. You have to starve those pathways of stimulation so they can weaken and eventually die off, a process that neuroscientists call synaptic pruning. All right, step 2 is all about stabilizing your body. In the beginning, your mind is total chaos, so focus on your physiology first. We need to manually get those cortisol levels down. Intense cardio exercise, running, cycling, whatever gets your heart pumping. It releases endorphins, which are basically nature's painkillers, and it helps burn off all that extra jittery adrenaline. You're also suffering from a major deficit of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. You need to replace it. Get physical touch from trusted friends, from family, even a pet. Long hugs have been shown to release oxytocin and soothe your nervous system. And finally, you have to prioritize sleep. Most of your emotional processing happens during REM sleep. If you aren't sleeping, you simply are not healing. Okay, step 3 is where we start to fight back with logic. Your heartbroken brain has this terrible habit. It loves to idealize your ex. It puts them on this pedestal and conveniently forgets all the bad stuff.
We need to actively fight this. The technique is called negative reappraisal. I want you to literally take out a piece of paper or a note on your phone and write down a brutal, honest list of every single thing you disliked about them. Every bad habit, every time they hurt you, their annoying quirks, the big incompatibilities. Be specific. Keep this list on you, and when you feel that wave of nostalgia or that urge to text them, read it. You are consciously using your logical prefrontal cortex to override your emotional, irrational limbic system.
And this final step in our recovery plan, well, it's maybe the most powerful and transformative of all, finding meaning. Psychologists call this post-traumatic growth. The whole goal here is to fundamentally shift your perspective. It is so easy to get stuck asking, why did this happen to me? But that question doesn't lead anywhere. The much more powerful question is, what did this teach me? What did you learn about what you actually need in a relationship? What red flags will you now never, ever ignore again? When you can successfully reframe the pain as a lesson, you stop being a victim of your past, and you start being a student of it. The entire story shifts from one of loss to one of wisdom.
And that idea of transformation leads us perfectly into our final crucial part of a full recovery. This is kind of the last level, because healing isn't just about getting over them, it's about getting back to you. It's about actively and with great intention rebuilding the part of yourself that got tangled up with and was ultimately lost in that relationship.
There's this fascinating idea in psychology called self-expansion theory. And what it says is that in a long-term relationship, your very sense of self literally expands to include your partner. It's like two circles that overlap so much they become one new shape. You stop thinking just as I, and you start thinking as we. Their hobbies, their friends, their inside jokes, their memories, they all get absorbed into your own identity. So when they leave, it doesn't just feel like you lost a person, it feels like a part of you has been surgically ripped away. That emptiness you feel is a literal void where a piece of your own identity used to be.
And this explains that common, haunting feeling people get after a breakup. I don't just miss them, I miss the person I was when I was with them. You don't just miss the other person, you miss the version of yourself that existed in that shared world. You miss who you were as part of that we. So the solution is what we can call self-expansion 2.0. You have to actively and playfully build a new, updated version of yourself. The key is to do things that have absolutely nothing to do with your ex. Pick up that hobby they always thought was silly. Travel to that city they never wanted to visit. Reclaim your space, rearrange your furniture, buy new sheets. Each one of these new experiences forges brand new neural pathways in your brain that are exclusively yours. You are proving to your brain, one new memory at a time, that you can exist and function and even feel joy entirely on your own.
In the end, a breakup is one of the most profoundly painful experiences we can go through as human beings. It's the tax we pay for our incredible, beautiful ability to love deeply. And I know that right now, when you're in the thick of it, it genuinely feels like the world is ending. But it's not. Your heart is a muscle, both literally and metaphorically. And just like any other muscle in your body, it only grows stronger after it has been torn.
So the most important thing I want you to take away is this. The immense pain you're feeling right now is not a sign that you're broken. It is the feeling of your capacity for love and your own resilience expanding. You are in a brutal, lonely winter, but winter always, always turns into spring. One day you will wake up and realize you made it. The sun will feel a little warmer. So the real question isn't if you'll heal, but how you'll choose to grow through this. What is one small thing, just one thing you will do today to help that resilience expand?